Hey, everybody. Did you ever lose anything? Like, I don't know, your keys, maybe your reading glasses. Oh, they're here in my hand. Maybe that book you were reading just a few minutes ago and you set it down and now you don't know where it is. Maybe your losses are a little more significant. Those are just frustrating. Maybe in this time of pandemic, you've lost your job, time with family. You're missing hugs from your grandkids. Maybe your health. Maybe a loved one. God understands loss. You know, Jesus knows about loss. Jesus lost Peter for a time, Lazarus for a little while, Judas, the betrayer, his disciple. Jesus talked about losing things in the context of God wanting to find us. Luke chapter 15 has 3 parables that paint a great picture for me of God wanting us back. This is how God feels about us. Luke chapter 15. The first parable is about lost sheep. The guy's got 100 sheep. One wanders off. He goes to look, brings it home. The second is about a woman who has 10 coins. She searches and searches and searches and sweeps and cleans, goes out and looks in the garage, looks through all that garbage out there until she finds the coin. And then she celebrates with her neighbors. The third is about a guy who's decided he's just about had it with dad and the old homestead and being told what to do. So he says to his dad, "Hey, Dad, I'd like to have my inheritance now so that I can go out on my own because I think I'm ready." Now, this is insulting to Dad because basically he's saying, "Dad, I wish you were dead already so I can have my money." But Dad, loving his kid, gives him the money. This is where we pick up the story. A few days later, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant country and squandered his property in dissolute living. Then a famine came along. He had to hire himself out to feed pigs, ended up wanting the food the pigs were eating, and finally came to his senses and said, "You know, my father's servants live better than this. Maybe I should go home." So he comes up with a plan. He says, "I'll go to my father and I'll say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Please treat me like one of your hired hands.'" So, good plan, went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, the father sees him coming. I guess he's waiting on the porch. Well, I have this image in my head of this father waiting on the porch for the son to come. The next 2 words in there are, that his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran. He ran. So the father's on the porch and he jumps off the porch, pounding down the path. His robes are flying. His beard's flapping in the wind. His turban is all coming unwound. His sandals are going on the path. He doesn't care. He looks really undignified. Now, folks, in ancient Israel, a male, Jewish male in particular, and even more, a wealthy Jewish male would never have run for any reason. Well, this guy is so excited to see his son. He doesn't care about looking undignified. He pounds down the path, comes down the road, throws his arms around his son, and kisses him. Well, the kid is understandably surprised, and he says, "Oh, Father, I have sinned. I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father says to the slaves, "Oh, guys, go get the robe, the good one, and that ring that I've got, and those really good sandals. Put them on this guy. Oh, and while you're at it, go out and get that calf that we've been saving for a special occasion, because guess what? This is it. This is the special occasion, and I want to celebrate." He says, "For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." During this time of losses that we may have experienced, God gets it. If maybe you've wandered away, God's out looking for you. If maybe you've gone into hiding because things are just so overwhelming, it's easier to get away. God's seeking you. He's probably out in the garage right now, going through stuff, looking for you. And if, like a lot of us do sometimes, you've just decided you're done, you're just through with this whole thing, just going to rebel, I believe I'll just leave. God knows. And He's waiting. He's waiting on the porch. And when He sees you turn around to come back home, He's off like a flash. He's there, right there in front of you, waiting to put His arms around you and kiss you and welcome you home. And then to celebrate because you've come back to the party